So I'm teaching you guys, giving you some tips and tricks on how to do this root. Okay, we're doing this root on a 6-inch Schedule 80 pipe. We clean the inside right, we clean the outside, clean our walls. We have no landing right now whatsoever. Remember I told you guys, I was like, hey, we can add a landing if you want. I do recommend that on beginners only. And there's a reason for that, but we're gonna leave that comment for another video. There's a reason why I like to teach with a landing for beginners, and then I move them on to no landing. Okay, so there's a little tip and trick for that. There's a reason for that, so stay tuned on that. Okay, it's very important. We did 2 penetrated tacks, one at the bottom, one on the top, 2 bridges on each side. Okay, so your penetrated tacks, try to keep them very small, very minimal, to half inch, no more than a half inch. That's all you need. And your bridges, they go on the walls, remember. Okay, a lot of people struggle on bridges. I'll tell you that, and I've seen it a lot. The reason why they can't connect the bridges is because they're not feeding their puddles. They're trying to make their puddle move with their tungsten, but if there's no metal going into your puddle, how are you going to move it? The puddle does not move unless it has what? It has metal in it, right? That's the only way you're going to be able to move that puddle, by feeding your puddle and moving your tungsten at the same time. If this stops, the feeding stops, and you keep doing this, nothing's going to happen. All you're going to do is smear that same metal that you have. This is very important. Remember, this video is meant for my beginners, right? So stay away from feeding like this, all the way on the top. Okay, some of the more experienced guys are going to tell you, hey, what are you doing? Feed from the top, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Don't worry about that stuff, okay? You don't have to feed from the top. It's going to be a lot harder for you to control that wire. What you're going to do is you're going to be bouncing around too much because the wire is long. You're going all the way across. If you have a shorter tip, a shorter piece of wire, you're going to be able to control that a lot better when you're feeding. Does that make sense? If you look at this, easier to control, harder to control. Why? Because it's so long, okay, so heavy. So what I like to do, you can either start halfway or you can start maybe about a quarter up. Okay, you can use the bridge tack. A lot of people use the bridge tack to place your wire, to lean it on it, and then feed. Tip of the wire stays inside your bevel, inside your pipe. Okay, now feed that wire. That's all you got to do. Okay, feed that wire right in the center, and then up and down with your tungsten.